damage as you were talking about. I mean, you have Shadow Fiend's Requiem, you have the Tide Hunter, his Ravage, and gosh, Anchor Smash, and Windrunner for a little bit of Power Shot. So you have that burst team fight AoE potential, and then you have that negative armor to come through and clean it up in the end.
Yeah, I gotta say this is I'm quite curious to see how it goes. I mean, on the side of Cmon Sun, they've got a bit of a mix. I'd say they're more magic orientated. They've got that Ursa, but Ursa, I think it's gonna depend on how quickly it's shut down in the early game. If that Ursa is able to just get farm, um, then he can certainly cause a lot of issues for Furious. The thing is though, he can also be locked down just simply from Slaughter's stuns. Um, like even after BKB, and I'm sure Lifestyle will pick up a Basher. So I don't know. It's gonna be a bit weird. I feel like this Mirana has to sort of go for a semi carry build, because of it, because they need some range to pick off Slaughter and well, something to go against Slaughter and Lifestealer, and that Shadow Fiend as well is gonna be dangerous. I think Common Sun have to play more early to mid game here, whereas Furious they're not gonna be too bothered if it goes into late game.
And let's get into introduce the teams. We do have over on the side of Furious Dota. Shades of Plays will be taking up your Shadow Fiend in mid lane. Wang Wang on the Slug. Oh, Slaughter. Oh my god. On the Slaughter, Adobe will be picking up your Lifesteal. Primitive Willow will be taking your Tide Hunter. And finally, Windy Dinosaur once again running up the rear on that Windrunner.
Yep. And on the side of Come On Sun, we do have um, their captain is well, at least their drafter was Climax on the Venomancer. Batman is on the Ursa. Beaverland sitting on the Marana. Decimus Corin Canis Lacu or whatever. Decimus is on the Undying and is it Palip Inc.
I believe
Is it
so.
Palip Incorporated? I believe that's a capital I, unless it's an L.
I wouldn't be surprised if an
I'm
L
gonna say
people just
Palip
like to.
Incorporated, but I'm just gonna call him Palip.
Wouldn't be surprised if it was an L for people to just ruin us our jobs, make it as hard as possible. I mean, Undying, Decimus Cornaculus Lacanus. Ah, yeah, please.
30 seconds to battle.
Decimus Corincanius Licanus. I don't know what that means. It seems like it's some sort of Latin phrase. Whatever.
Part of the Roman
I'm
Legion
just
or
gonna
the
call him
Greek
Decimus.
or a Spartan, who knows? Going up against the Spartans
Yeah,
last
maybe.
game, maybe threw that up to be a little bit of a intimidation factor, because everyone gets intimidated by
Yeah,
names, right?
right.
The battle
So we do have
begins.
Climax. He is rotating down a little river. They do spot him out. They know what's going on. So if they do see a ward place, they do know it's put down. And they're trying to figure out where they want to throw these wards. We do have one ward thrown down by the Windrunner early on in that lane. Or not the Windrunner, but the Tide Hunter coming down. So they'll give her a little bit of vision. They're coming up top. They will throw up a very defensive ward. They don't want to get any of these countered. Especially early in the game where you want that rune for Shadow Fiend. Because Shadow Fiend needs the rune once he gets his bottle. Probably harder than most heroes. What a very interesting mid lane we do have lining up here.
I'm not too surprised to see a Venomancer, personally. Um, Venomancer and Dying is unusual. I mean, we've seen Venomancer mid in the past, but yeah, the issue is here, Venomancer's probably not going to pick up those Plague Lords early because 50 Shades of Play, it's going to be easy gold for him.
And Undyne and Venomancer is a fantastic lineup because you have that Gale, and then if you have a Gale down on top of the Tombstone, all that slow, you are not running in a million years. And then all that damage coming out from the decay, the negative health, especially on the Shadow Fiend who doesn't have that high of a strength to start off with. All that negative strength on him, he's got no health to be able to survive a few auto attacks, and the zombies themselves could just probably auto attack down Shadow Fiend after a while. So a very interesting mid lane, and if you can shut down the Shadow Fiend early on, he's going to be hurting. He's like an OD in regards of if you shut him down earlier on, he's going to hurt into this mid game. But at least with his Shadow Fiend, he has those raises to come back with flash farming.
Yeah, that is very true. I guess the one thing I gotta say is, this tri lane in looks like Shades of Play is just gonna take a little bit of damage.
They're just going to keep going. They've thrown down the tombstone in mid lane, and they do find that kill. I mean, they went deep, and they didn't even throw out some of their big abilities. I mean, Undyne threw out the tombstone underneath the tower. He could have thrown that out so much earlier, and they would have, like, negated some of the damage they took from the tower. But who cares? You picked up
Is under attack.
a first blood on a Shadow Fiend.
I feel like he probably could have just turned around and threw out a raise or two there, and maybe gotten the first blood before they did. He still would have died, but at the very least, you know, get the first blood, get the experience and gold potentially. But nonetheless, I mean, that's come on, son, they're gonna be happy with that. In the meantime, I gotta say this bottom tri lane for Furious, I don't think they don't have any stuns unless you can get a nice shackle shot from Windrunner to really jump on Beaverland, because he's just gonna leap out. So, I don't know, I feel like an aggressive tri lane would have been a better choice, especially since Lada in his top lane is not going to be able to do anything against the Ursa and the Crystal Maiden.
It'd be nice if Furious Dota were actually doing some pulls down here. I mean, they don't have a double stack. They've got a free
Yeah.
camp to pull in. They need to get some extra XP and money flowing through their side. I mean, you've just lost first blood. You need to find whatever else you can, and you have a double pull through in mid lane. Windy Dance doing a little bit of chip down, shut down. Not going to be too much. Not going to find a shackle. A little bit surprised she decided to pick up a win run, but against an Undyne and Venomancer, I guess it is worth it if you're going to rotate in mid to help out your Shadow Fiend. And we do have a Gale. It does land onto two heroes. Are they going to chase down Shades of Grey? They do have Decay. They do have a Tombstone if they want to use it, but they're not going to do it. I'm a little bit surprised. I mean, you threw a Tombstone, a level 2 Tombstone down then. You could have found a kill against a Shadow Fiend.
Yeah, I guess they're a little bit worried about the Windrunner, and
What's there to be
I
worried
guess,
about? You're Undyne with 900 health.
the thing is, Tidehunter was also missing off the map. Like he was sort of just roaming around in the jungle area. So I'm sure Beaverland here on the Marana warned them about that, and they were like, you know what? Against 3 heroes, this is maybe a little bit too risky. Particularly since those razors can certainly do a lot of damage very quickly.
I still think they should have went on that. I mean, you're Undyne, you have 900 health, you almost got a K, you had another K coming up shortly, and what can Tidehunter do? If you'd seen him earlier, he was level 2, he could have possibly hit level 3 by then, and that's not too much damage or control he can do to you then, so... Especially with an Undyne who's the tankiest person in this game by far, I don't know, if you could have found a second kill and traded yourself for a Shadow Fiend, that would have been pretty worth it, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's true.
But anyway, it's not going to be the
It's
case.
Nah. I gotta say, in the top lane though, Batman on this Ursa doing a lot of harassment, but also getting a lot of last hits and denies. 11 denies. that hits Ladder a lot, because if you're not, he's not going to be getting too much gold here. He's only sitting on 7
Down on
last
bottom
hits.
lane, will Beaverland
So-
find himself a kill on the Tidehunter? He doesn't. He threw out this Starfall, which was unfortunately only level 2. If he'd picked up a 3rd point in that Starfall instead of that 2nd point in Leap, he would have found himself a kill, but Tidehunter's got to be careful. He walked up close to a little bit of harassment to Mirana. Mirana's like, nope, I'm going to turn it back around against you.
Yeah. Well, that's what happens when you're 3 levels above you. And the Starstorm's such a powerful ability. It does so much damage early on. I generally, in my opinion, I like to see just 1 level in Arrow, because Arrow's not reliable, whereas Starstorm you can pretty much get off every single time.
I mean, there are some cases, the rare occasion. Actually, in mid lane, we've got the Gale. It lands
Yeah.
onto Shadow of Plays. We have the Tombstone coming down. Shades of Plays. He's in a lot of trouble. There's no zombies on him, but that's not required. The Gale's there, and they will chase off Windy Dinosaur. Windy Dinosaur's in a lot of trouble now. We got the Poison Stacks, and we do have the final auto attack coming out from the Undyne, who's got so much health he can just throw it away to the tower, and they pick up a double kill in mid lane.
Wow, that's extremely well played by Cmon Sun. This dual lane in mid is absolutely doing wonders for them. They forced the Windrunner into mid. They completely shut down the Shadow Fiend even with the Windrunner there, and the Windrunner also dying. It's a huge early start.
And Undyne with his farm, that's scary. He's now got his arcane boots up and running. He's walking back to base, and once he has that, him and Venomancer can continue being aggressive. And Mirana finds himself a kill down bottom, but he's in a lot of trouble. The open wounds is out. Beaverland, he throws out the Moonlight Shadow. Will it be enough? Can they find the final auto attack? Can Windy Dinosaur find the hero power shot? She cannot. The Moonlight Shadow has another 4 seconds. 3 seconds. Can she get out of sight? She will walk into the ward down here, and the ward only up for another 5 seconds. They know where she is. Windrunner, turn around. Windrunner. He doesn't turn for the auto attack. He needs to get in there. They're chasing him down. She leaps. The power shot misses, and Windrunner. I mean, Not Windrunner, and Mirana is out of there. That is unfortunate. A little bit of delayed reaction coming out from that Windrunner to start off with, and that gave Mirana enough time to get out of there.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Yeah, that's really unfortunate there for Windy Dinosaur and Furious in general.
Top
I mean,
lane, we
they
have maybe
lost-
Wang Wang. He's in a lot of trouble. He gets the stun off,
Oh.
and Batman, he's under the tower. He's still trying to go further. He's taking a lot of damage. Will the final auto attack? It will not kill him, but it will put him low.
That's alright, there's a healing salve on the crystal main there. But yeah, this is not looking too good for Furious. They lost mid. They've pretty much lost. Well, I wouldn't say they've lost bottom. I mean, Lifesteal is still doing very, very well on 31, now 32, 33 last hits. It's a little bit of jungle farm there as well, but at the same time, you know, he's going to be having his items up relatively quickly. In fact, he has gone for a Midas. They still haven't upgraded the courier at 7.5 minutes, which is very slow. But at the same time, it's going to be a quick Midas. His farm's going to skyrocket.
And
But yeah, this mid lane's basically been completely shut down.
yeah, speaking of that mid lane, Climax, he's just picked up his boots, and well, that is now scary. They've decided to rotate Tidehunter in, and Tidehunter's like, what can I do in this situation? I don't even have an Anchor Smash. I've got 2 points in Kraken Shell, even though I'm not taking too much damage myself, and I've got 2 points in Gush. I don't like this early pickup of Kraken Shell. Maybe 1, so you can get rid of any debuffs after a certain threshold, but 2, I really do not agree with. You need those extra points in Anchor Smash, you need those points in Gush to do the damage and the negative armor early on in the game, and IMAX and Undyne, they're looking aggressive. They want to go in on these 2 heroes, and if they do, well, they will find more kills because Shadowfiend is sitting on 450 HP. 1 Gale, 1 more Decay, and well, he's within auto attack range of Diane.
Yeah, I gotta say that the Kraken Shell, exactly as you were saying, 2 levels this early on when you're basically just sort of sitting back, it's, in my opinion, he
And a
should
Gale
pick up
comes
the
out.
lead.
Are they going to go into
come
Tidehunter? He's in the auto top. They throw out the Gush. We have the Venomous Poison. We have Undyne. He's running. He's got the. Can they find the kill on Tidehunter? He gets a little bit of health back. They turn to 50 Shades of Grey. And they get a double kill on the Undyne. He will not go down. And he's just going to rotate back out of here. And, well, what can Furious do against these 2 heroes?
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Well, at this point, it looks like pretty much nothing. The problem is, and we're sort of speaking about this before, they don't really have the early game. They have all of these heroes which need farm, need levels, need time to become big. Lifestealer, you know, he's just farming up, trying to get as much as he can. His Midas is going to be off cooldown in a few
Radiant's
seconds,
top
but
tower is under attack.
when
Radiant
Cmon are doing this well, I mean,
structures
Ursa
are
is
fortified.
doing equally as well as Lifestyle. In fact, he's going to be doing better if they actually pick up this tower. Which they won't be able to actually, but you know, this is just, it's hard for Furious. They need to try to find pickoffs, but it's almost impossible at this stage because they don't, you know, in fact Climax, they probably could have tried to pick him off if Tidehunter threw out a Gush, but just not gonna happen, and now Undying is back.
And, well, top lane, Slaughter. How's one of their offlane heroes doing? He's 14 for 5. He's got boots. He's working towards an armor. So he's not doing too well 10 minutes into the game. However, on the other side, you have your Ursa. He's got his Vlads. He's got his boots. Whenever he wants to, he can rotate to Rosh. But if they see Batman rotate out of this lane, they should know he's going for Rosh or he's going to be doing something suspicious. And Climax, he's down in mid lane. He's chasing Shadows of Plate. We do have a lot of trouble. We have Adobe. He comes out of the Infest. He's going to do as much auto attack damage as he can. But he does fall to the Undyne. Shadowfiend does manage to pick up a kill on Climax, but he turns back around, he picks up another kill, he picks up a triple kill. Undyne is unstoppable this game, 6-0-2. He is the man,
Wow.
he is the team, and well, what can you do against a one-man wrecking crew?
Yeah, that was that's just amazing. He will
Oh,
have
down on
his,
bottom lane we have Windy Dinosaur, gets a fantastic shackle off from the Beaverland, who did get aggressive, but Beaverland's going to have to back off and nothing else would go there.
I was just gonna say that's actually going to be a mechanism for Undying, and that's 11-minute mecha. That's very, very quick. I'm pretty sure you just finished it off. That's what are you gonna do now? He's got mechanism at this early in the game. You didn't have the burst. You can't pick him off. Unless you're like 5
Top
versus 1.
lane, Batman, he's going hard, he gets hit by the crush and the amplified damage. Can he find that final auto attack damage? He cannot, he turns, he goes to Crystal Maiden, he thought he had the kill, and that's a very big misplay. And now he's got to keep chasing down the Crystal Maiden. He's got a stun up and running, he does use it, and does find the Crystal Maiden, but you missed out on Batman. If you could have found a kill on Batman, that would have been fantastic. And Undyne, he's come up here, he's looking for some kills, but he's not going to be able to pick it up himself as of yet.
Yeah, I don't think they can jump on
Bottom
the
lane, there's a little bit more action. They're going on Adobe. They got the Gale. He's got the slow. They're auto attacking. They just need a few more auto attacks, and they find it with the arrow. So Beaver, he will pick it up. The shackle only lands on the climax, and then a little bit unfortunate, and she just runs away for a little bit of a haste.
Yeah, I mean, this isn't going good for Furious. I mean, Wang Wang on the slider there, he could have gotten a kill on Ursa before. One more right click was all he needed, and then he could have just gone on Crystal Maiden and gotten a double kill for himself. Actually, in bottom when he dinosaur.
And
once again.
arrow lands, and they find another kill. So come on, Suns, they're just ripping through Furious Dota at the moment. Furious Dota had a great game last game. So did Come On Suns, but it just looks like Come On Suns, they're just not doing too well. I mean, not Come On Suns, Furious Dota. And they're actually action at the top lane. They're going against it. They pop the Ravage. Will they be able to find it on him? Can they pop his killing spree for that extra Dota? They get a Lucky Bash, second Lucky Bash, and it goes to the tower. So that is no bonus gold to Slaughter. He would have loved that.
That's a Roshan. They denied the tower, but that's a shame no one got the streak for Furious. They really would have liked that. But you know, that's still not too bad for Slaughter. It means he's way closer to his armlet than he was before.
But that is very unfortunate. I mean, if he'd picked up that last hit, that last gold, he would have had it. And now, Come On Suns, they're walking through the jungle. They got a Venomancer and Batman. Batman and Climax. And they find themselves the kill. They're rotating around. They know something's up. They know where these heroes are. They're pinging. The courier has not yet been upgraded. This is a very big misplay. They upgraded now that they see these heroes. Gale is not going to land, and this will force the disengage coming out from Come On Suns. But they're going to rotate down. They're going to pick off the final tier 1 tower on Furious Dota's side, as they do have 5 heroes down here. Well, Windy Dinosaur, you're in a little bit of trouble. The arrow will scout out Windy Dinosaur. They ping him. Windy Dinosaur's in a lot of trouble. She's going to get cornered in, and well, she does find a little tree, then she runs into Beaverland, she's caught in between two, and she will fall through Climax and the poison damage.
Yeah, 5 heroes. One winner, not gonna happen. This is tough here for Furious. Yeah, they're 10 kills down, they're 3 towers down. I don't think there's much they can do at this point. Lifestyle doesn't really have any items beside his Midas, and he's not going to have anything for a while. Slaughter's, yeah, a bit of gold. Oh no, he must have finished off his treads, because, yeah, he doesn't have any more gold. In fact, Climax finds Primitive Ruler.
And he's in a lot of trouble. He's been slowed. He's got the zombies on him. You can't go anywhere. Kraken Shell works there, but once again, it's not too effective. An Anchor Smash would have been a lot more in that case, and I mean, just think of an Anchor Smash that reduces your damage by 40%. Against an Ursa, if you reduce his damage by 40%, what can he do to you? He's just gonna, you know, nibble at you for a while until those Fury Swipes come up. And especially a lot of these other heroes, and now they're going towards his tower. Batman's looking to be aggressive. He's got the Aegis. The arrow comes final through. It's not going to land on anyone. You have an invest on Slaughter. Wang Wang, can he get on in there and explode with Adobe, who's inside of him? And the tower will go down. Shackle lands it to 2. This is the perfect time to initiate. Do a lot of damage. Batman, he will fall. He will pop the Aegis, but that's at the risk of Slaughter. And we do have Shadows of Requiem. It's not doing enough damage. The second one pops through the Ravage. Is it going to be enough? They pick off 2 heroes. Crystal Maiden, Venomancer, but the Undyne's still up and running. He's still got a mechanism. He pops it. Willow, you are going down. That is 4 heroes down. And Adobe, he does get out of there, but he's by himself. He's got nowhere to go, and they're going to continue working towards this tier 3 tower.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
And so they should. In fact, the tombstone gets popped. That's pretty funny. This Undying. So ballsy.
Walking into their fountain at 15.5 minutes into the game. That is scary. And those zombies, look at them. They're starting to work on Windy Dinosaur. He's got some few friends to him, and Undyne's picked up his blade now. Arrow lands into Adobe. Adobe's in a lot of trouble. Are they going to go? They're going hard. Batman, he gets picked off. There goes the Undyne. That's 2 heroes down for a very over-aggressive play. And now, there's what happened to tier 3. It's been a little bit chip damaged by Beaverland, but You just gave away two very big heroes and some gold. Quite a lot of gold.
Yeah, I mean, come on, son, still 11 kills ahead and now 4 towers ahead. So it wasn't terrible, but Adobe on the lifesteal didn't die at all there. He's going towards his armlet now as well. Should really start popping that hand and Midas because it's been on cooldown for a little while. But yeah, this is it means that Sliders now are.
In mid lane, Wang Wang, he's looking to find a kill. He gets the crush off onto Climax. Climax will fall underneath the weight of the Wang Wang.
Yeah, they had the amplified damage off just before Miranda popped the ulti, and that's actually very nice for Furious. This is sort of what they need. They need these pickoffs where they basically cost them nothing, and they get a few free kills.
And one of the scariest thoughts was Crystal Maiden, as of 2 minutes ago, was sitting higher than almost the entire team of Furious Dota. If there's a Crystal Maiden beating your entire team, or almost your entire team, that's a little bit scary, but Wang Wang's now picked up a little bit of farm. He's going to continue working towards that armlet. If he can pick up that armlet, that will give him additional health and damage throughout these fights, which he desperately needs. Tidehunter, he's rotated down bottom, he's got 2 points in Anchor Smash, he's trying to find these drums of endurance, but it's going to be useful, that additional movement speed for their side, give them another aura, and it's a cheap, cost-efficient item which he needs and their team needs. They need these cost-efficient items to help them in these engagements. And speaking of engagements, come on, Sons. They're rotating towards this mid-tier 2 tower. They're looking for some action.
Radiant's
Yeah,
middle
just
tower
gonna keep on with the aggression, and they know that Furious has the.
And there's a Ravage, it pops, it only lands onto 2 heroes. Is it worth it? It is not worth it. He's had no teammates in there for him. He should have just died and then respawned with it, but now, Shadow Fiend, he will fall shortly after. Windrunner died somewhere else at the same time, and then Slider, he jumps on in, they had an infest, can they do anything? The Venomous Gale, the Poison Nova, and that is death. That's a team wipe, and come on, Sons, they should be taking this game. They take the tier 2, they're going to walk towards the tier 3, and Furious Dota, I think they just wasted their only chance at coming back into this game, that last fight.
That was, yeah, they basically just sort of ran in one by one and just died off. They should have disengaged at the tier 2 tower fall and regrouped, you know, for the Common Sun's continuous push.
And they're going to jump on in, they get a diffusal off onto Windy Dinosaur, they're just going to push him away. And this is going to do a little bit more damage to Melee Rex. Will they be able to do enough? The Shadow Fiend's up, he's got level 4 raises, the mechanism is popped, but there's not enough mana on the Undying if he wants to initiate. Mirana's only got enough for 1 spell, possibly 2 with a leap if you want to count that as a spell. And they're going to just retreat, and that's worthwhile. You picked up a tier 2, picked up a tier 3, picked up a team fight. Now let's get out of there and just work towards our next big items and then crush them a little bit later.
Yeah, I mean, this Ursa, he doesn't even have, you know, in terms of damage, he's just basically going off the base and the Vlad's. He doesn't have, you know, any of his big items yet. He's got his Blink, which is amazing, certainly. It helps him out, just jump in there, and Fury swipes and the overpower, just absolutely decimating. But it's, come on, Silent just going to get bigger and bigger, and Furious are going to have trouble finding farm because they have to play very defensively, they have to play very safe, and they're just going to fall further and further behind if they don't find pick off some kills or some opportunities. And they have, in my opinion, the better team fight. They just have to execute it better.
And I agree with you there. I mean, if you can just get a nice timed Ravage off on a Requiem of Souls, that is a lot of damage, especially if you can pick up a level 2 on your Shadow Fiend. If you do want to have a little look at levels, you have the top 3 dominated by Come On Sons. 13 for Mirana Undying, 12 for the Venometer, Ursa sitting on 11, and Crystal Maiden not doing too shabby on level 9. Over on the side of Furious Dota, you do have 2 11s on their carries. Actually, now Tidehunter hits a level 11 as well with his Ravage, and that will be very nice in the next engagement. That gives you a little bit extra duration and a lot more damage on top of that Ravage. And now tier 2 tower up top is taking a lot of damage. The arrow can fire on through, just zoning out the heroes of Furious Dota, getting them off the tower, keeping them out of the way. Tidehunter's up here, he's got that Ravage off cooldown. Doesn't look like they'll initiate as of yet because the rest of the team is not here. So this game, it comes down to Primitive Willow. If he gets off a nice Ravage, they can win this, and an arrow's coming on through. Just dodges. But yes, as I said, if there's a nice Ravage, they can still turn this game around. If there's a bad Ravage or a poor Ravage, well, the game is going Come On Sun's way.
Yeah, definitely.
Shadow Fiend.
It is here on Shadow Fiend.
He's looking.
Big.
He's wanting. He's waiting. Will he wait for it? Shackle lands at 2 heroes. Requiem of Souls. Ravage comes through. That is 4 hero Ravage. That's a 4 hero Requiem of Souls. That is an entire decimation coming out of Common Sons. They're turning back around. Undyne. He's standing up. He's manning up. He's not taking it down. Ursa. He's ripping through his heroes. And there goes the slug. That is a team wipe. Come on, Sons. They did not take no for an answer. Even with the perfect lineup of Ph.D. Come on, Sons. They ripped through them, and that causes buybacks, and that will cause Urza to retreat.
That was, yeah. I mean, it was a 4 for 5, and Ursa did a lot of chip damage, but at the same time, that does help Common Sons a little bit. They got a little bit of gold there, they got a little bit of experience there. You know, now Slaughter's at level 14, which not as big of a difference as it was before. That was nice. The Crystal Maiden really was what ended up turning around there for Come On Sons, I feel. The ulti from her was up for about 2 seconds, and it absolutely brought a lot of the heroes from PhD down quite low, so she almost died, and then the mechanism got popped and basically ultied and absolutely did a ton of damage.
Man.
Should always finish off that Crystal Maiden as quickly as possible.
I don't think Common Sons are going to get aggressive like that anymore. I mean, after that, that was ridiculous, but a pipe is now picked up on Undyne. If they can get a pipe off in that engagement like they did, like the mechanism, they can cause a big stir. I mean, that's 400 magic damage. I think it's 400? Yeah, it's 400 spell damage blocked. Yep. That's an entire Ravage down the drain. That's not going to do any damage, because Ravage does do 325 damage. So you've just avoided big damage. And speaking of that Ravage, they're actually jumping on the Tidehunter now, walking down mid lane. You do have the Gale, you've got a Zombie and Willow. He's got Windy Dinosaur wants to do something. He does get a shackle off into 2 heroes. Will that be enough? The drums are popped. He will run. He will get on out of the arrow. If this arrow hits, it's not going to hit. Tidehunter's going to keep retreating back home. Ravage is down for 30 seconds. Come on, Sun, saying no, something like this should still be down. Will they find the opening, or are they afraid it has come up? Were they paying attention? The Infest is up on Sada. Sada's looking a little bit aggressive. He gets the Diffusal, so that's a Diffusal charge down from Beaverland. Wang, do not leave your base, or you will be throwing the game. He's not going to do it yet. He did get the call to come back and stay inside. And they kind of try and do as much chip damage as they can. But they have to be careful. After that last engagement, you know they are scared of what Furious Dota have still up their sleeves.
I feel like Common Sun should be aiming for the range barracks just because it doesn't regenerate health. And that way they could just chip it over time. But actually, Beaverland going in.
And they're walking on in. When Fest comes out, the Ravage! It hits onto 4 heroes! Batman, he comes in, he's ripping, Wang's down. We do have Windy Dinosaur. Windy Dinosaur's got that wind run up. The Requiem of Souls not doing enough damage. We have 3 heroes down for Fierce Stones. That is 4 heroes. That is 5. That is a team lap. And what does Come On Sons have to say? They have to say, well, we destroyed you. That's all that matters. And now the GGs are called. Furious Dota will be tapping out, and Come On Sons, they take their second game. They're on a winning streak, and they looked very strong throughout these group stages.
Very strong indeed. And Furious Dota, I mean, it was just a little bit unfortunate there for them. The early game did not go their way. Come On Sons absolutely shutting down mid. Lifesteal didn't get any big items up early enough, same with Slaughter, and they just basically continued to snowball. You know, a few good engagements there from Furious in terms of team fights, but unfortunately it was not quite enough. Well, that's it for this game. We do have obviously a lot more action coming up. We've got MTS versus 300 Spartans. I believe it's still live at the moment on the main stream. We'll be back later on in the day, but there's a lot more action coming out from the other casters. So thank you guys very much for watching. I've been Zelarif, and I've been joined by D2T. You can follow me at twitch.tv/Zelarif or on Twitter at ZelarifDota. You can follow D2T at youtube.com/D2T or at Twitter at D2T. A big thank you to our sponsors, Weta, for sponsoring the tournament. The winner will receive an axe statue, which absolutely looks amazing. That is the first place winner of the upper bracket. That will be at the LAN finals. Big thank you to them. Thank you guys very much for watching. We'll be back later on with a lot more action. Stay tuned.